Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. I'm pleased to be joined by Ms. Jennifer Flood, President of the Bermuda Botanical Society, and Mr. Danny Simmons, the Park Planner in the Department of Parks, to announce that we have signed a Memorandum of Understanding to enhance the funding and development of the Bermuda Botanical Gardens. The MOU establishes the Bermuda Botanical Society as the Bermuda Botanical Gardens registered charity holding grants and privately donated funds to be dispersed on the direction of the Department or the Ministry and solely for agreed Bermuda Botanical Gardens improvement projects, assets, or initiatives described in the MOU scope of works. This agreement modernizes the Gardens funding model. It allows us to access a wider range of funding sources, including grants, donations, earned income, and contributions from corporate sponsors, community groups, and the general public. The Bermuda Botanical Gardens is a treasured space in our community, a place of beauty and tranquility that holds great appeal for both residents and visitors alike. It not only enhances our island's natural landscape, but also serves as a vital resource for education, conservation, and research. These new funding avenues will greatly assist with training, management, restoration, conservation, research, and educational initiatives with the gardens. They will help us maintain and enhance this important public space for the enjoyment and benefit of all. I want to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of the Department of Parks in managing and maintaining the gardens under the Bermuda National Parks Act 1986. Their efforts ensure that the gardens remain a vibrant and welcoming place for everyone. The Bermuda Botanical Society has been a key supporter and partner since its formation in 1985. Their contributions have been significant, including historic renovations of Horticultural Hall, the Cacti and Succulent House, and the Visitor Center, providing interpretive plant signage and free guided tours, organizing visits and presentations by plant specialists, assisting locals with overseas botanical training, and managing the garden's native and endemic plant collection. By collaborating with the Bermuda Botanical Society, we are investing in the future of the Botanical Gardens. Our goal is to ensure that it continues to thrive and remain a cherished space for generations to come. I encourage members of the public, corporate sponsors, and community organizations to support the gardens. Your contributions will make a meaningful difference in preserving and enhancing this valuable resource. For those interested in learning more, they can contact the Department of Parks at parksdepartment@gov.bm, or for making a donation, you can visit bermudabotanicalsociety.org. The Government of Bermuda is delighted to be formally partnering with the Bermuda Botanical Society to enhance this national treasure. This is an exciting opportunity to strengthen the partnership, and I look forward to new developments going forward. I now call on Mrs. Flood to give a few remarks. Thank you. Mrs. Flood.
Thank you, Minister, and good morning, everyone. The Botanical Society is pleased to welcome this new major collaboration with the Department of Parks. The signing of an MOU between the two parties will enable the Bermuda Botanical Society to receive funds from donations and grants specifically for approved projects within the Botanical Gardens. As an isolated island, Bermuda has a unique ecology with rare, unique, and endangered plant species. Their importance has been recognized by government through the Bermuda Protected Species Act of 2003. Of those rare plants, the olivewood is an example. The Bermuda Botanical Garden is the only garden in the world to have olivewoods. If something awful happens, like happened to the cedars, we could lose all our olive woods, which are a feature of throughout the island, a beautiful feature. This is one of the important reasons for having a botanical gardens. The gardens are also home to several documented collections, and an example is the palm collection behind me. And some of these collections hold endangered species, plants that are very rare in their native countries. For example, the cycads, some of the palms, and I just learnt this morning that a tree in the border over there, the Lignum vitae, is actually on the red list, the CITES endangered list. We have it here. In its natural range, it is severely vulnerable. We can be a Noah's Ark for other countries by supporting them, having plants here that we look after, and should they lose them completely, they can come to us to have replenishment. This is an important part of any botanical garden, including the Bermuda Botanical Garden. The Society envisages a thriving botanical gardens with global connections, which among other attributes will house collections of world importance and scientific research, and offer educational experiences for Bermudians and visitors alike. The MOU will help to make that vision a reality. So thank you very much, Minister, for working with us on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Flood. Thank you, Minister. At this time, we'll take some questions from the news media.
Hi, good morning. Jasmine Patterson from Bermuda Broadcasting. Minister, as we know, the state of the gardens had been under some trouble for some time. I guess if you can take us through how this negotiation or partnership started to end up with an MOU.
Okay, so we have a National Gardens plan that was started in 2022 to 2026. And part of it is to expand the relationship with the Bermuda Botanical Society, as well as come up with ideas and plans how we can improve the garden and strike the balance between government resources and funding and the public being able to contribute as well. Clearly, no public is going to contribute to no government. And so the partnership allows us to be able to receive funds on behalf of the botanical gardens and to be used to improve the gardens.
Thank you. I guess is there first an order of business, fundraising efforts that have begun or projects that you'd like to see happen in the immediate future to support the park?
Did you hear that one?
Yes. Thank you. At the moment, we have received an initial small donation and a grant. Mr. Simmons, standing on my right, he is actively pursuing grant opportunities which are available. There's an awful lot of paperwork involved, so it will take time, but the Bermuda Botanical Society will not be actively fundraising as such, not at the moment. If our membership grows, then that's a possibility that we will look at. But at the moment, we're looking at direct donations and grants.
Do you have an end goal of what you'd like this park, this garden to look like in terms of what it needs?
You can never have an end with a garden, let me put that first of all. But yes, there is a management plan that Mr. Simmons is working on that we are looking at. The Botanical Society is also part of the Botanical Gardens Steering Committee, so there are plans afoot, but you have to have the foundations in first. There's absolutely no point saying we're going to have a magnificent centre if the funds are not there. So foundations first, and that is what we're working on. Hopefully those will be completed soon, and then you'll be seeing the more visible improvements to the gardens. Thank you.
Question from the Royal Gazette.
Good morning, Gareth Finnegan, Royal Gazette. Minister, just one question. You say that nobody's going to make donations to the government, but this MOU is... Sorry, you say that nobody's going to make donations to the government, but this MOU is essentially that, isn't it? It's people making donations to the Botanical Society, which will then pass them on to government to carry out work on the botanical gardens. Is that how it works? Isn't that how it works?
No, that's not how it works. So the idea is that if there is a project in the botanical gardens that costs money, that the government does not have, the Botanical Society will pay whatever it is to do that. They've done that already in terms of the renovations to the J.J. Otterbridge building. That money was paid by the Botanical Gardens to the contractor. So it's no involvement with the Accountant General or the government bureaucracy at all in terms of funding.
But as these are public gardens, shouldn't any upkeep be funded by the government rather than a society?
Okay, so they're not taking over the full responsibility for the upkeep of the gardens. We still pay for the Department of Parks. We still pay for a team that works here on a daily basis. We still fund the upkeep of the gardens. This is to enhance what the government is doing.
Okay. Thank you, Minister.
Well, that completes questions, Minister. And our Mrs. Flood, thank you very much for your time. That concludes the presentation.